right, so graduate from Fisk University. What's next?
So after that, so the good thing that Fisk and Vandy had was we signed an agreement that said after we graduated from Fisk, we'd go and work at Vanderbilt. So we had guaranteed jobs when we graduated, so we thought we were, I mean, it was great for us. At the time, Vanderbilt had just started its nurse residency program, which is now how they hire new graduate nurses. So I applied for the pediatric nurse residency program because I knew I wanted to work with babies, and get into that. So I applied for the critical care piece, which allowed me to get into the neonatal intensive care unit, as well as I got a chance to rotate through various different critical care areas in the hospital, like the emergency room, the pediatric intensive care unit, the neonatal intensive care unit, So I tried to show them, you basically had to show them why you wanted to be in that area you wanted to be in so they can choose you, because it wasn't a guarantee that you were going to get in that area. But I did get into the NICU. I was very happy about that because I really, really wanted to work with the babies, and the premature babies and stuff. So that was next after Fisk. I started the residency program, started working at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital.
Yeah, definitely, and that's very interesting. So the neonatal intensive care unit, that for myself is scary, and like just the sound of it, and then I don't think I could work there myself personally. That'd be traumatizing experience for myself. I just go look at pictures and kind of look at the thing. So just kind of how is like the environment kind of working in that type of environment where you have these babies that are barely holding on. Some may not make it. What's that experience like, just kind of dealing with that stuff on the daily basis?
Yeah. So it can be challenging. It takes a very special type of person to be a neonatal intensive care unit nurse. So imagine, I was 21 when I graduated from nursing school, 21 with my first job in the NICU. And like you said, dealing with not, knowing if your patients were going to survive, at Vandy, we see the sickest of the sick, So I think my philosophy kind of helped me get through it. One thing I'll say is that we had the chance to do primary nursing. So what that is you can pretty much kind of sign up to work with the same patient every time you work. Continuity of care. It's really good, for you to be able to do that. I had my first primary baby. He was premature, born at about 26 weeks, I believe. So he was really just very, very little. His mom was young, his dad was young. Just a young African-American couple, their baby, they were scared, I was scared, but for some reason I was just drawn to him and I signed up on him, to be his primary nurse. So I took care of him for about 6 months, every day that I worked. Yeah. In addition to, my other patients, but he was my main patient. And he died. And it definitely tore me up. I went to the funeral and everything, spent some time with his family because they invited me and everything, it was a very traumatic experience. It was, but what got me through it was, after that, I would say, what got me through, other deaths and things was I started to kind of just change the way I viewed it a little bit. Because although it's very sad when a baby dies and stuff, for me, it's like they don't have a whole lot of connections yet, where, you think about when an adult person dies and all the family members and the friends and just all the relationships that they've established and everything that they're leaving behind, so I kind of just put it in comparison to that, like, okay, this baby hasn't yet had all of that, and so there's not as much, there's sorrow, but not as much and not as big of an impact on all the other people too. So that was just me, processing it in my mind to be able to get through it, for any other deaths that I would experience. But you also lean on your colleagues there that you work with too, my faith and spirituality, just to get me through it, and just knowing that God makes no mistakes, and everything happens for a reason, and I learn from each experience. So that's how I got through it. But it's still so rewarding too when you do. I had another primary baby, and he survived, And when he would come back for his appointments, his mama would call me like, "Hey, we're here at the clinic. You want to come see us?" So you have those success stories too, to help you get through it too.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was going to ask you about a success story as well that you might have seen, because I know it's a lot of stuff like you just mentioned that very tragic. I almost made me tear up over here while you talking about it.
Yeah.
But that's definitely sorry. And I was going to ask you, like, so you kind of mentioned the connection. So who kind of put that or gave you made that ring a bell to you, I guess, because that was my first time kind of hearing somebody talking about it in that aspect. So like, who kind of let you know that, okay, or told you that, okay, the connections, this baby doesn't have a lot of connections yet, or
Right.
who put that idea in your head? 'Cause I'm just curious,
I
or
really
just something you thought about
God,
yourself.
yeah,
Yeah,
just in my
trying to
conversations with him,
rationalize.
just
Yeah,
trying to, rationalize it, figure it out, understand it, So I think that was just him just giving me my way of being able to deal with it.